Holly Schindler here, author of Playing Hurt. You know, as hard as it is for me to believe, my second young adult book, Playing Hurt, will turn a year old in March of 2012. For those of you who have not yet grabbed a copy of Playing Hurt, maybe because you don't usually gravitate toward romantic titles, I just wanted to let you know that you should absolutely not let that keep you from reading Playing Hurt. Playing Hurt is far more than just a simple summer love story. Chelsea is a basketball star in Fairgrove, Missouri. She has the admiration of her entire town and the promise of a full ride to college. But a horrible accident during one of her games ends Chelsea's basketball career prematurely. Clint is a Minnesota hockey star, and he endures his own life-altering tragedy. It's not a physical injury that he sustains, but what happens to him takes his head out of the game, and he's forced to hang up his skates. After Chelsea's high school graduation, her dad springs for a 3-week vacation to a Minnesota lake resort. It's the same resort where Clint is working as a guide, and he's also got this idea that he's going to run a boot camp. He's going to help people who are vacationing at the resort get in shape through outdoor activities. When Chelsea's dad finds out about Clint's program, he signs Chelsea up. And when Chelsea meets Clint, when she gets to Minnesota, their attraction is just immediate and undeniable. And a lot of their attraction stems from the fact that they have so many of the same shared experiences. They understand each other's losses in a way that no one else, has understood them before. Chelsea, though, has a boyfriend back home in Missouri, and Clint has promised himself that he will never put himself in the position to be hurt emotionally again. So the question becomes, will this romance only cause Chelsea and Clint more pain, or will it finally heal their heartbreak? Playing Hurt is a steamier read, but that's not the only thing that's going on in this book. This is not just a book about dating or falling in love. Chelsea and Clint, at fairly young ages, Chelsea's 18 and Clint is 19 in the book, have both endured some life-changing events. They've both lost the thing that made them tick, that made them who they are. Their sports, in a lot of respects, playing sports, that was their identity, and they don't have that anymore. When I wrote the book, I thought a lot about what it would be like for me if I could no longer write, if that was somehow taken away from me. And I think that would be one of the hardest things in the world to go through, because so much of who I am is tied up in my writing. It's the thing that makes me tick. It's the thing I love the absolute most. And I thought about how scary that would be, to lose that thing that makes you tick, that you love, and trying to find something else in life that fulfills you just as much, that you love just as much. And that really helped me to explore Chelsea and Clint's characters and to accurately describe their sense of loss. So in Playing Hurt, even though it is a love story, we're dealing with some pretty heavy issues throughout the book. There are subplots about healing after an accident. There are subplots regarding self-identity and self-definition. But I also am a big believer in the idea that beautiful writing can exist in any genre. When I was in college, genre was a bit of a bad word. You were always supposed to be writing literary fiction. And I love literary fiction, but that's not the only genre I read. I love romances and action-driven books and horror and sci-fi. I love all of those that are more plot-heavy than character-heavy. But when I was writing Playing Hurt, I gave every bit as much attention to character detail and lyrical writing as I did when I wrote my debut young adult novel, A Blue So Dark, which is a literary novel. So anybody who really enjoyed and connected with a blue so dark would absolutely recognize me in the pages of Playing Hurt. Yes, there is romantic cheating in Playing Hurt. The book has been out long enough at this point that I really don't think that's much of a spoiler to admit that romantic cheating exists within the pages of Playing Hurt. And the reason for that is that, you know, the sports subplot didn't exist when I first drafted Playing Hurt. In the initial version of the book, Chelsea was a girl with a boyfriend at home, Gabe, who went on vacation with her parents and met a guide at a Minnesota lake resort, Clint, and wound up falling for him in a way she had never fallen for her boyfriend back home. And the reason I wanted to write it is that I think when you're young and you first start dating, that a lot of times it can be a little confusing to figure out exactly what your feelings are for a person. If you've never been in a relationship, a romantic relationship before, and you start dating someone and you have a good time with them and you have the same sense of humor and you get along and you care about that person, it's easy to assume right off the bat that what you feel is love. And, you know, to further complicate the issue, you know, you do love your friends. There is a love you feel for your friends, and when you are in a romantic relationship, friendship is part of romantic love. So they're intertwined to some extent, but there is a big difference between romantic love and friendship. And I wanted to write a book about a girl who learned the difference between romantic love and friendship. And in order to accomplish that, I needed to have two relationships going on at once. I needed to illustrate that Chelsea cared about her boyfriend, Gabe, at home and had a connection with him and had a shared history, but that there was just something different about how she felt about Clint. There's just this spark, this instant attraction, and she knows from day one that she has romantic feelings for Clint in a way she never had for her boyfriend back home. So, you know, I had to have the cheating going on so that I could explore that issue of being in love with someone versus just loving someone as a friend. And because I wanted that subplot to still exist in the book even after I introduced the sports subplot, I had to have that thread of romantic cheating exist in the final version as well. There are definitely steamier passages in Playing Hurt, as I said. So the book really is intended for an older teen readership. And I do realize that the romance between Chelsea and Clint takes place over a very short period of time. Remember, Chelsea's dad bought a 3-week vacation. So everything that happens to Chelsea and Clint in Minnesota happens in a 3-week time frame. But I don't think that the time frame, the short time frame, means that Chelsea and Clint have a casual relationship. In my book, a casual physical relationship is an emotionless relationship, and what happens between Chelsea and Clint is in no way emotionless. It has a lot of depth of meaning for both of them. For me, every romance that I really connect with the most, whether it's a romance novel or a cinematic love story, are the love stories in which both of the people in that love story, involved in that love story, sort of rescue each other or change each other's lives for the better. And that is very definitely what happens within the course of Playing Hurt. Chelsea and Clint lead each other back to the light that can still exist in their lives. So help me celebrate the first birthday of Playing Hurt by grabbing yourself a copy if you haven't already. It is available in paperback or ebook formats, and for those of you who have either already downloaded a copy or are planning to, I do sign ebook copies through Kindlegraph. Thanks very much, guys.